The year was 1787, and Ben Franklin walked out of Independence Hall after a pretty tough but productive day at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. And from somewhere out there in the crowd, a woman called out, "Doctor, what have we got? A republic or a monarchy?" And Ben Franklin gave her an answer. And he famously said this: "A republic, if you can keep it." But Dr. Ben Franklin might be rolling in his grave tonight, since a shadowy and malicious group that calls itself Ben Sent Us is sending out threatening letters to Democratic voters and officials in Arizona. Here's what one of the personalized letters says, just above a set of glaring eyes that's printed on the paper, staring at you, boring into you. "Election fraud will not be tolerated. All video and pictures of possible ballot voting and drop box fraud will be posted on the internet, along with pictures of district attorneys, sheriffs, and others that do not pursue investigations and charges on those committing election fraud. Copies of all evidence will be turned over to the local sheriffs. Retirees with nothing else to do will be filing hundreds of lawsuits, if not more. They will be locating your homes, your social media profiles, and pictures, and posting them online as well. Every judge refusing to sentence election fraud to the full extent of the law will be considered a traitor and dealt with accordingly, as will you. We are watching you." Personal stuff. Addressed personally, too. Back now with Mark McKinnon. Is it just me? Or does it seem like this is getting not just worse, but like truly evil and sinister? These are death threats. You'll be dealt with as a traitor, which is a death sentence.
Well, this is the result of what happens when you convince two-thirds of the country that the election was stolen. And so, yes, it's frightening and it's shocking. But it's absolutely a cause and effect from what happened in 2020 and what President Trump led his followers to believe, that the election was stolen. So it's a militarized response. It's just an echo of what we saw on January 6th. And I mean, the good news, Ashleigh, is it's just reported a couple of hours ago that a federal lawsuit has made at least one of those organizations that was doing election monitoring stand down. The Lions of Liberty have pulled out their people. So, some of the democracy groups around the country are taking legal action to some effect.
So it's not just on the Republican side. I want to read you something that came exclusively to us at NewsNation. This is a postcard that was handwritten, hand-addressed, personally addressed to a private citizen in a predominantly Democratic neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia. Let me read it for you, Mark. It says, "Katie, thank you for being a previous voter. Who you vote for is private, but whether you vote is public record. Please vote in the Tuesday, November 8th election. Signed, Danielle." It's certainly not as ominous as the other one, but it sure does smack of like shaming you into voting.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line in all of this, Ashleigh, is that my sense of it is that the more that people go out and try and intimidate voters, that I think it has a boomerang effect. I think that what that says to most people who may be casual voters is nobody's going to stop me. And if they're going to try and stop me, I'm going to go out of my way to vote, even if I've never voted before. So I think that it really has just the opposite effect of what is intended, which is to scare people into not voting. I think what that tells people is that people are trying to take my rights away. And by God, I'm going to go out and defend my rights by voting.
It's a good point. I suppose they could always write "return to sender" and "screw you" on it, pop it right back in the mailbox. Hey, Mark, love seeing you. Thanks so much. P.S. Love your show.
Kick it hard, carry on regardless.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.